Hey YouTube, this is John from Lock TCG. Welcome back to the Vault. Today we have another gameplay video from our latest locals over at Koalaty Games. Today it is my Super Saiyan 3 Goku revamped leader versus Jim and his Black Sin Shenron Mill leader. Joining me today, of course, is the man himself, Jim Costanzo. Jim, welcome to the video.
Thank you for having me. And for once, I know I'm playing it, but it's a deck that I know about, so I can actually commentate and voice my opinions on it.
Same here. As you all know, Super Saiyan 3 has been a deck I've brought here on the channel a couple times. When the new Zenkai stuff came out, I was definitely looking forward to it. I know it is topping events right now, and people are like, I know it's starting off, I'm not trying to whine about it. A lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, so you're just net decking. And I'm like, no, I've been playing this probably since the beginning of the new year. I know, especially when we started these videos, I was trying it with like the Ultra Instinct Goku package and everything like that. And looking at the new like Vegito Zenkai card and everything, I decided to try it out with this deck. So starting off, Jin went first, charge, pass. I know I went to my turn 2, charged 1, swung, pass essentially. Jim, what do you think was going through your mind during this game?
So going through my mind was, I'm going to lose. This man is turning the tide.
and little did Jim know, the moment we started the game, he's like, wait a minute, 6 energy.
Because you don't remember it the way I remember it, because you were walking away. You said, oh, we're going against each other round 1. And I'm like, what are you playing? Blue. I'm like, oh, shit, turning the tide. And you walked away answering someone else saying, yes. So in my head, I'm like, this mother... I don't know if I can cuss on here, but this mother friend... Ugh.
No, yeah.
I'm like, oh, wait.
And I chose not to say anything. I intentionally didn't say anything because I'm like, I wonder if he remembers that this deck caps at 6 energy. And I love the fact, because ever since they've revamped this leader, I've had it on the side. I've always experimented with it. I've always loved it. I've done jank builds with it. It's a fun deck no matter what you play with it. And with everything that's been coming out and how the new format is, like paying 6 energy to play a 6-drop boss that restands in energy, you have the Boo Unison already on the field, restanding energy, and your leader restands 3 energy, is just disgusting. A 5 energy untap with a triple strike blocker deflect barrier boss and the blocker double strike Boo, I think it's amazing. And I've been waiting for this moment with this deck for a long while. Sponsored by Sunkist. And going with it, as you can see, charging my second Boo Unison because I already know I have one in my hand. I don't know if in this game, this was a game where I had the Sensu Bean in my hand, so I can awaken this turn. I always do prefer to have one in my hand. I mean, I'd like to, because then a turn 2 awaken. And playing a 4-drop Boo Unison is great. I love it because I get to draw a card. I get to draw 2 cards, one off the Awaken, one off the Boo, and then I get to untap my energy, and essentially I go into full turtle mode. In this case, I did not hit the Boo, I believe. I passed to you, if I am looking at it. Yeah, so I passed to you. I didn't get the Sensu Bean, so I couldn't play the Boo. You're going head first swing. I'm like, okay, I'll take the life. And I believe in this game, I let myself get down to 3. And I'm like, all right, we're going to sit here. I don't need to go any lower. I'm like, I don't think he plays any triple strikers or anything like that. So I'm in the clear.
I mean, you should also know, because I had this deck, like, from the first set that it came out. This is probably the only deck that I never like took apart, rebuilt, or anything. I've always had Zeno sit.
Mm-hmm.
And my number 1 rule for it is, if my opponent plays anything else, leaves in rest mode, has a Unison on board, I will never swing at the leader. Because I don't want to give them that extra advantage. If they're a leader that awakens at like 4 life or less or something, and no alternate conditions, they'll never awaken. That actually happened later on in the tournament. I went against an Android 21 player.
Mm-hmm.
Dude played the Android 13 Unison. I left this person at 8 life the entire game.
And you won by milling him, correct?
Yes. I feel bad because they swung with me. I'm like, okay, Oceanus. Bounce it to bottom of deck. Alright, cool. I swing. Okay, you have to mill 4 cards. I counterattacked with another Oceanus. So now they have to mill 8 cards. Normally, smart players would stop. This man took the Oceanus challenge. And I negated the attack with the smoke. Negative energy negate counterattack thing.
Mm-hmm. And see here, I'm just trying to add more pressure by pushing you in. You go ahead and drop the counterattack. I don't know what it does, but I'm like, what does it? What that rage do though? All I know is I think that's the only time I swung into your floodgate, because I'm like, I want to see if I can get the double striker in. I'm like, filling my yard for 4 is not gonna kill me. I think that's the only time I did it, and I think I was debating about. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna, because I drew all my God Sealings this game. So I'm like, I'm just going to God Seal it. You have 1 less body on the field. It's better for me to keep it in the hand. I know it's a negate. I know it's there. I think at this point, I had a baby Avenger in my hand. So I'm like, okay, if he tries to do it again, I can just ape it. And see.
Also, I forgot the point of my little ramble there. When you said, I don't think he has any, triple strikes. I don't swing with battle cards. I just swing with my leader.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play battle cards. They're just there for names. Maybe if I don't know, if I want to be aggressive, then I'll play the 1-drop haze to play a 3-drop something, but that's rare.
Mm-hmm.
My main purpose in this deck is legit just mill you out.
Yeah. I get you on that.
No triple strikes.
And at this point, you're just asking to count the deck to see how many cards I have left. Even at this point, you pulled out a calculator to try and count the whole thing, and we kept going back to counting the deck anyway. The moment you start doing that, I'm like, all right. I'm like, I can't draw too much, but we got to start focusing on trying to kill him. Now, the new strategy that I've been seeing is people love doing all how I told you there's the boss and everything. So here I go dropping the baby. That's a triple striker right there. I'm gonna go ahead and counterattack that. Put the Oceanus. I didn't even notice you put the Oceanus in your drop. It should have went to the bottom of your deck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That may have helped me later on.
Oh well.
It's whatever.
Cheating my Jim Costanzo, everybody.
It's not if I'm losing a card.
I mean, it technically acts as a target for your Unison. But anyway, so go play that. I'm still going in with the Boo Unison. It's a double striker. I'm going to super combo to get up to 30. And essentially what happens is I just start slowly snowballing with triple strikers is what I'm trying to do. And that's what people try and complain. Oh, you're just copying this new thing that everyone's doing. I'm like, well, the Golden Avenger's been in the deck since I've played the deck. The Boo Unison has been in the deck since it came out, and I think it was... What was that set? It was not last May. It was the May prior in 21.
The Boo Unison came out in?
Yeah, it was the Gohank set.
Wasn't that the Gohank set? Was it?
Yeah, it was the Gohank Secret Rare set. I can't remember what set that was.
That was with the technically yellow-black Sin.
Yes.
With raw blue.
Yes, I think so.
I don't know.
Let me see. I'm going to look it up right now. That set is Supreme Rivalry. That's the set. And I'm no, for real. From that set, if you, it's so funny. If you look back at that set still, the Boo SPRs and the Boo SRs are still $20 cards. The set is more than a year old. SR King Vegeta's Imposing Presence, $20. SPR King Vegeta's Imposing Presence, $23. The value coming from that set is just crazy. And it's same thing like going, like it has good blue cards, and like there are good blue cards that if anyone's watching, if you go back in like past sets, even from the last couple sets, Ultimate Squad, if I had to pick any blue card that came out of Ultimate Squad, I would say the Android 17 and 18 teaming up. I think that's going to be a really good unison. The fact that you play it, it doesn't do anything on play. However, you get a free combo essentially every time when a player attacks. You get a marker on it, and then it also works during your opponent's turn. On top of that, it becomes a 25k dual attacker. I think that's good in decks that struggle with cheap good unisons. And I think if you want a good turn 2 play, you can do that. And like there's other good blue cards. I knew that the Super Saiyan God Goku Floodgate Triple Striker, I knew that was a good card. I mean, I put that in this deck right away, and you guys saw me playing that in the UI version of this deck. And so, like, seeing this right now, I'm trying to push Jim in more. He's just dropping more gates, and I know I'm not going to be able to push him in as much. And then you do the Floodgate with the Ultimate Ice Ray.
So, just really quick, I want to say this is the most I've ever played Rage.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played it like 3 times this game.
Because he's just a 1-drop negate at this point, right?
Yeah, but I didn't use the Ultimate Ice Ray. I played Rage, and he has the effect. Look at the top one and a Shadow Dragon.
But you are going to play the Rage, correct?
Well, I played the Rage. He's on board.
Oh, sorry,
right
the
now.
Ultimate Ice Ray. I'm sorry.
Yeah, eventually.
And then I go here, play the 6-drop Goku. Like, again, just like the deck that it's meant for is like mediocre. The card itself is like, okay, it could be a 4-drop if your yard is empty, or you can drop it as a 6-drop in this deck, which is fine because you're restanding 3 of those guaranteed. If you have the Boo, it's 4. And you get to swing for a triple striker who also removes cards off the field, and he restands a blue energy and himself, and he's a blocker. So then there you go. You're dropping the Oceanus again. I believe I Trunks this one, or I think I hold it for the next turn is what I do. I think I go ahead and just hold it for next turn because at this point there's no reason for me to do it because I only have my leader swing.
Yeah, the attack's going to be negated anyway, so...
Yeah, so then I just go ahead, I pass, I restand that, I get 3, I'm trying to decide what I want to leave untapped, because I know I have a Zeno in my hand. I go, leave those 4 untapped, and I get 1 more from the Goku. A 5 energy untap is insane for this deck. Insane. And I have 2 triple strikers. I have a double striker on the field. They're tall bodies. 2 of my cards have blocker. And one of them is a unison. The other has barrier. It's just great. It's a great card. Now, there are techs I am putting in the newer variant just in case I do. Because a lot of cards now, a lot of bosses have barrier. So there are cards I am putting as like a countermeasure kind of in this deck. And I am debating about putting back in Barrier of Hope because a 3 cost, bounce something, ignoring barrier, and draw 2 is kind of good. Now, is it the perfect bullet? I don't think it is, but you always want to keep your hand filled with this deck. That's why I play things like the UI Goku Kamehamehas, the Beerus destroys God card, and then seeing here, I go do the Zeno, and I go and put the counterplay God Slicing Kamehameha back in my hand. And if you notice here, Jim finally gets a unison.
Yeah, you saw my little jazz hand?
Yeah, and I'm just looking here, I'm like, I gotta read this. And I forgot, like, it's plus is what lets you shuffle things back into your deck.
Yep. And you did mention earlier, you're like, oh, you can add the Oceanus back with your unison. Now it's just extra cards. So my mistake of putting that Oceanus in my drop actually hurt me instead of helping me.
You're banned. Anyway,
Anyway,
going on with this, you're gonna go play the Toa, shuffle things back. I know on my crackback is where I'm thinking like, okay, I gotta hope I can keep some of my field at this point. Because if I remember correctly, I think you said you were debating about dropping your secret rare, and does it only clear battle cards?
I believe so. Like, I was still fine, like, with the unison on board. I didn't care about that.
It's just the 2 triple strikers.
Yeah. But I wanted to play it safe, and I'm like, oh, I can still do things. I don't think that's for a while, though. I think you play something else.
I think this is the... No, this is not the turn. There's no way this is the turn.
Yeah,
But
there's
like
still,
as you can tell, my
9
hand, I have a full grip in my hand too, and you're going here counting my deck again, and that's my thing is like I have that Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta in my hand, which is essentially drop a 6-drop blocker, draw 4, but I don't want to do it because it's like I don't want to empty my deck for you to run that possibility. But then here I go again. I'm trying to swing the triple striker. I completely forgot you had the Oceanus blocker, and I'm pretty sure that's, and I believe that's what you go ahead and do here.
Do I?
I think you do, because I forgot about it. I think you go like no negate, but then you block her. Yeah, see right here.
No, I do that, and then I spirit boost. Do I?
Oh, here, you're spirit boosting.
Yeah. And then I use the ultimate ice ray. I think I was thinking, I'm like, how do I do this? Oh wait, I have a blocker on board. I can use it, activate battle. You mill 2. Yeah, see, get out there.
If I'm remembering correctly too. Oh yeah, because I think I say no combo because it's obviously going into the blocker, so I don't care. And then you just go right into it. I was like wondering, like, do I combo? I'm like, wait, why would I combo into a freaking blocker?
Then there's John reading every single one of my cards.
Exactly. I always got to read it because I never remember. It is better to read than not to read.
And then if you saw, I'm like, do you want a combo?
Right. And here I go, swinging again with a triple striker. See, and you go do that 1-drop negate. I'm like, okay. Because then at that point, see, that's the thing. At that point, I'm like, I'm not getting through this turn because I can't do anything to the counter attack cards. Like if it's a physical extra card, I can't do anything. If it was a battle card, I could possibly.
Also, just a really quick thing. People are wondering why my grave is separated. I do that for the Toa Unison to keep my extra cards like ready for me to put away, just so I'm not like shuffling through my grave.
He does that, guys, to cheat. Don't listen to him.
I mean, I don't know how that's cheating, but alright.
But anyway, but yeah. So going here, I'm trying to put pressure on with the Boo Unison. I need to get more SPRs of that Beerus card because that I originally got only 2 because I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to play 4 of, but it's a really good card. I think it's a really good card. If you use it during your turn, it's a draw 1. Oh no, I don't think it actually is a draw. I don't think it actually because it's like the opposite of UI Kamehameha. One is like your opponent's turn, you draw 1, and the other one's like if it's your turn, you draw 1. So like it's like a reflect. I know UI Kamehameha lets you untap an energy, and like see at this point, I'm trying to put pressure on you because I have cards in my hand, and I'm comboing the Vegeta because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set up my Z energy for the next turn, so that way I don't have to worry about an attack or getting a combo through. And I think at this point you just like, it's a single strike. I'm like, yes, you go and do it. I go put that there, charge the 1, Z, and I believe I just go ahead and pass. And then I go untap everything. I untap 2, which is fine. I have 6. I'm like, I have a couple floodgates in my hand. I'm not worried. Jim doesn't attack anyway. The only thing I needed to worry about is if he somehow cleared the board. I know at this rate, I wanted to get the 3-drop Goku out if you swung, and then leave it, because I'm like, if I leave it, it has barrier, he's not going to try and touch it. At most, I'm like, he's going to worry about the baby more, because it's the 30k triple striker, not the 20k triple striker.
Oh, and that little interaction right there, even though I did the same thing earlier, John was like, where'd that 4th card come from? I'm like, my hand? What? Why? My Unison? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, John does not know many things, but he loves blue.
Is this... Yeah, I think this is, like, my last turn before I lose.
I think... Oh, you have to spoil it, Jim.
I mean, I think you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, because at this point, it's like... I was really nervous because I'm like, I can't draw many cards, and I already had a very low deck count. I think you got me down the lowest was to 7. And
I think it was less than. No, it was 7 because I even said, "Oh, if I played Smoke Dragon," but oh yeah, because I spirit boosted and all that. Yeah.
because then I was
There's
wondering
John
about the super combo.
Alright.
Yep, there's John reading the card.
But I could have summoned Smoke Dragon this turn and wiped everything away. But as you'll see in a minute or two, he plays something that I didn't know like existed. And I'm like, oh, I don't know anything. I should be safe for a few turns or something, like at least another turn or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll win next turn when I know he's in kill range.
And I go, I play the triple strike Goku, leave it up.
And I'm
So
like, I can't attack leaders, right, or something? And you're like, yep. I'm like, good. I wasn't going to attack it anyways.
I think at most you thought about. I think you try and attack the Boo, and I just block her with the Goku. And that's the thing. Having a 30k blocker, everyone just looks at it like, do I want to combo into it? Because then I'm like, at that point, I'm like, I don't care. I'll combo into it. And I think you use the Dragon Earthquake, and
You're like, well, screw that. I think you said you could draw or something.
No. So like, there was something where it was either nick 2 markers off of Unison or let you take a battle card, and I'm like, well, I'd rather let you take 2 markers, because if I didn't, then you would have just gotten rid of the baby, and I'm like, I want to make him work for the baby, and I think you eventually do get rid of the baby.
Also, I'm just saying the only reason why I was getting rid of the baby, just because it was the closest to like my left hand.
Well, it also was the only thing without barrier.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, he can't hit any of the other ones, and I think I swing first with baby, just because of that. I can't remember.
But also, this is definitely during my turn. I definitely should have called Smoke Dragon because I will have gotten rid of 3 big boards or body top board.
Yeah. See, so I go here, swing with the baby first, and I think you do that Shadow Dragon negating it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mill 1. And then you were asking for deck. I go ahead and spread my deck out because it's that low. And I'm like, okay, swing with. And I'm like, at this point, you only have 3 life. Like, you have either 3 or less life. And so I'm like, okay, swing in the next triple striker. You do the Oceanus. I'm like, okay, I'm going to God Sealing that. It's going to go back to your hand. And I'm like, okay, he has 2 Oceanus in his hand. I'm like, there's no way he's not going to do it again. So I go swing. I'm like, at this point, he's probably thinking, okay, I'll do it. We'll go ahead and do that. And he goes, he's thinking, I'm like, please do it, please do it, please do it. And I believe you just do it on this attack.
I don't know if I did. Do I?
I think you do. Yeah, see, look, you just tap 2, play it. I'm like, okay, in response, I'm going to God Slicing it. I pitch 2 rather than tap out. And I'm like, it goes to the bottom instead of being played. And I didn't even realize you'd even show me what you revealed too.
Did I?
No, you just put it in your hand and just put it in your hand. I think it was another negate.
I think at that point, I'm like, yeah, I lost.
Yeah, so then I'm like, okay, I don't even need to swing with the Boo at this point. I'm just going to tap 5. Right? I look at my hand, I'm like, yeah, tap 5, crack the Z energy. I'm going to play the Vegito. Vegito comes out. He's a triple striker boss, deflect, barrier, blocker. And Jim's like, that's a whole lot of text. And I think the only thing you took away from it was like, oh, you don't get the auto. I'm like, no, he's just a really big guy. And I just go ahead.
I read it, and the first line of like the first effect was like, if your leader is Future Trunks, I'm like, oh, that doesn't do anything. Then I think I glanced at the second. I'm like, oh, is he just a big boy?
Yep, and I go ahead, I do that super combo twice, put the 2 Vegetas, bump him up by like I think 30k, and I'm like, okay, I don't think he gets even if at that point I was like, even if he gets out of it, I still have 3 more damage on the field. And so I go, you do that, and I think you just lose on this. I'm just doing, but essentially I swing with the Vegito. Jim tries to get out of the combo. He spirit boosts, hoping to hit something. I think you hit like that's 15 on your lead, and I think you're short by 5k, right?
I think it's a total of 10 because no, it's 5K, yeah.
Because you got even to what I was, but you needed 5 more K, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
And then like you combo Last
Oh,
Oceanus,
that was the, yeah.
and then it's like you have that. Go ahead and say GG, and that's how I went with the Super Saiyan 3. But yeah, so essentially Super Saiyan 3 triumphed over Sin Mill, and then there's the hatch at the bottom of the deck, or bottom of the life. I didn't even have it. I'm like, there's no point to the hatch anyway. I wasn't really digging for it. But otherwise, Jim, what do you think of the overall game?
If I didn't, yeah, I liked it. If I had known about that Vegito, then maybe I would have played the Smoke Dragon and cleared your board.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I lasted longer than I thought I would, so I was pleased with it.
Me too. It was a really fun game. Otherwise, guys, thanks for returning to the vault. This is John and Jim with Lock TCG over at Koalaty Games in Chicago, Illinois. Hope you guys join us for another video, and hope to see more people showing up at the locals too. And we'll see you then.
Goodbye.